Hello and welcome back to Fire Emblem Order the Crimson Arm 100% growth low turn count playthrough. This video will be tackling Chapter 17. You may notice that I'm recording a YouTube video, and the quality itself is worse. I accidentally recorded it over my file for the inputs for this map while I was trying to record Chapter 18. So you're stuck with this, meaning there was no game audio, only my monotone voice. I would have just posted the original video, but I felt like that would be, one, dishonest, and two, a bit bad because I know more about the run now that I finished it compared to what I did before. Wayland and Negu both promote in this prep screen. Negu promotes mainly because her stats are getting kinda low-ish, but also pretty close to the caps, low in terms of like actually being offensively capable. At least with basic iron weapons, and also to boost her sword rank a tiny little bit. Wayland promotes because he has to. One, he's capped 2 of his stats, so him promoting means that he can get them to grow more when he needs them to be capped for endgame to begin with. And 2, he gets a flying mount, 8 move, and there's a unit that only he can recruit that is across several rivers. Getting him to that unit will be a lot easier. This map is turn-floored by getting 1 of 2 units to the boss. These units are either Cynthia, back from Chapter 15, or a Falcon Knight named Ileana, I believe is her name. I kind of forget, in all honesty. The boss is a Falcon Knight named Dione. She's very okay-ish, but very scary as a boss. None of her units can double her. She has a Delphi shield too, so we can't cheese her by bringing a sniper over. Although we could still crit her to death. However, we need to get the kill. We need to at least fight her with one of Cynthia or Ileana in order to have her show up in the next map, which we need to fight her in again. Because of the map being turn-floored, this map and the next map, it's just an opportunity for our units to grind. Because of this, most of our units don't matter. The only units that really matter on this map are Wayland, Lonnie, Cynthia, and Ileana. And as such, we just use this time building up experience on our units on the right. We deployed Tanya again. She's going to be deployed in a lot more maps moving forward. Hell, I think she's deployed in every map moving forward, with maybe one exception because we lack deployment slots to fit her. Her combat is really good with the loose tome. The one downside to Cynthia, and the reason why she won't be a mainstay on the team, is that her stats, while pretty high, are outclassed by August. And another thing about August that I have yet to mention, she's technically counted as a male unit while having the female Wyvern class caps. So she's just faster than Sven will be, while having 15 aid. So she can rescue Wayland. Cynthia can't. Cynthia at least joins with B-rank axes and C-rank lances. But she's just slow. Ileana won't be used in the long term either. She joins with B-rank swords, so she can use the silver sword at base, which is nice, but she's entirely outclassed by Lonnie. And Lonnie is kind of frail in the endgame, because the Falcon Knight class caps are low, and she has a lot more time to train. There's no reward for keeping these green units alive, so we just let them die. It's also fairly hard to keep them alive in the first place. One thing that Cynthia does do for us, though, is bring us a short axe, which is nice, I guess. She's also able to visit that village that she's in. Well, she's standing on. That contains an art seal. You might be able to beat this map in a turn faster than I do by having Lonnie move down and help rescue drop Cynthia or Ileana upward. But I only realized that after I recorded Chapter 23, and I didn't feel like coming back to re-record every single chapter afterward. If that is the case, that is one of a couple of turn saves that might be possible in this run. Next map is very boring. It is a grinding map. Unlike Chapter 21, there are actually a couple of important things that happen in there, and it's not 30 minutes long, so we'll be commentating over it. I left a community post on my channel the other day asking if you would want me to fully commentate 2x gameplay speed for Chapter 21, or just cover the important things in the description, because that map is, again, 30 minutes long. It would be hard for me to keep up with the game speed being at 2x, but I can do it if you want me to. We're trying to just build up experience on Celia. Where she ends up going doesn't really matter. Celia also needs to get her bow rank up higher. We promote her by the next chapter, so, because she caps her speed and she's already capped her skill. Or if she doesn't cap her speed, but her speed is already quite high. We just kill this mage in one hit with Steel Lance. He has an air caliber to him. He doesn't drop it, though. We might actually be able to save a turn by weakening Dion before we end up bringing Ileana or Cynthia up if we brought Lonnie to the below. Just that we can drop Ileana or Cynthia and have them hit her with a short spear or something like that. But we end up killing her with Lonnie anyway. Well, we end up killing her with a different unit, but Lonnie does help. One really funny thing about this map... well, I guess there isn't really a funny thing about this map. It's just kind of boring. Yeah, you don't have to have Cynthia or Ileana kill Dion here. They just need to fight her. I believe it's been a while. I believe that I just end up having Dion get killed by Cynthia. We use that Earth Seal that we get from that village to promote, I believe we use it to promote, Celia. The only reason I said you might be able to beat this map a turn sooner if you bring Lonnie down there is because you still have to handle Dion a turn sooner, which is actually fairly difficult. Because, as I said, Dion is quite fast. We're still at training levels for Boleslav, unfortunately. Luckily, Celia was able to enemy phase a couple of enemies in the last turn. One thing that's really funny, and actually kinda sad, is that Celia ends up capping her stats before Boleslav, but Boleslav is the best bet for facing the final boss. The main reason that she's able to cap her stats first is because her promo bonuses are better, and because her caps are worse. The reason we deployed Robert is seen here. He's able to take drop Katarina down, so we can get more experience on our units below. Hooray! As I said, there's not really much to talk about during this map, but I felt like uploading a video without commentary or posting the old video would feel dishonest. There's no real reason we're hanging on to our low-use Drablins. I honestly should have just burned them. I think I just end up selling them, or I break one. It would have been better for August to just kill the Falco Knight. I mean, for Elaine to just kill the Falco Knight. In fact, she absolutely should have. But I decided to give the kill to Negu, I believe. August is the halberd with her. She doesn't end up using it ever, though, because the killer axe is just better for killing enemies near her. The steel lens doesn't give doubled weapon experience in this hack. I don't know if I've said that yet or not. Yeah, Lonnie would have to go down in order to bring up Cynthia and Dione. I mean, Ileana and Cynthia. And even then, she doesn't double Dione and only deals 15 per hit with an Iron Lance. You would have to hit her and have Dione survive. Dione has 20 luck, so you can't even just crit her without with a weak weapon and not kill her. You'd have to have 21 crit with something like a Slim Lance, which I don't even know if you have access to. Dione also has a Wind Sword. Using a lance helps you avoid that because you get weapon triangle advantage. These green units are actually fairly useful because they're able to bait enemies over. August gets chipped down to quite low HP, but she has the Killer Axe, so she kind of dissuades enemies from attacking her at one range. That Pegasus Knight that's near her, I believe is just stationary for some reason. If I recall correctly, it does hold a speed wing. Or it holds some type of stat booster, but it is just one speed higher than Robert, so we're unable to steal it. I believe it's a speed wing. It doesn't really matter what it has because it's kind of irrelevant at this point. This is the reason we deployed Robert, was to rescue drop Katarina down so Celia can get 2 kills in this turn. Compared to Boleslav, she's a lot frailer, sure, but she is just already faster and more skillful. She also doesn't have a sprite that's offensive on the eyes. There are a couple of times this map where it's better to use a weaker bow to kill the Pegasus Knights because you get more hits of weapon experience that way, but it doesn't really matter. It's just nitpicky at that point. We end up sadly breaking our only iron longbow in the next chapter. Luckily, we're able to buy more in chapter 20X. Yeah, as I said, that Pegasus Knight holds a stat booster, but we'd have to train Robert up to be able to steal from it, and then bring Robert over. So it's just better for experience purposes to kill him with someone like Negu or August. August would, in theory, be able to help the rescue drop of Ileana, but there's no real point in doing that. August is already caught up to speed with Sven, and her stats are just better than Cynthia's at this point. Originally, I was planning on giving the kill on Dione to Wayland, but I ended up giving it to Cynthia on accident. However, there's no reason to not do that. She does need okay-ish stats moving forward, because she's deployed as a filler flyer combat unit in a couple of maps. And by filler, I mean very filler. She's deployed because she can use an axe. And that's it. When I said this map was boring, I meant it. We literally rout every single enemy on it. I should have had Tanya be the one doing staff duties. But it doesn't matter. At some point it just stops mattering. It gives Tanya a bit of experience anyway. And Camille gets some too, which is important because she does have some combat roles moving forward. I don't think Tanya ever actually sees any combat until chapter... No, she sees some combat in the next map, I believe. But she never sees any serious combat until chapter 20. So look forward to seeing that. I wasn't sure if I had to let the conversation play out in its full length, so I ended up letting that happen anyway. Both Ileana and Cynthia can have the conversation with Dion. I just let both of them have the conversation. By the way, yes, you can in fact recruit Dion. That wasn't obvious by the fact I went out of my way to do this, because this is full recruit. Yes, this is how you do it. By hitting a 50% short axe hit, Cynthia is able to defeat Dion. Because Cynthia or Ileana spoke to Dion, she doesn't die, she just retreats. Meaning that we have to wait 10 turns for her to show up next map. Woohoo! Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm sorry this was just my voice, and I'll see you next time for Chapter 18. Which is a boring grind fest before my favorite clear of the run. See you next time.